And what I find fascinating is that for the president to even contemplate one of these multilateral agreements suggests that, again, somehow globalists and the globalist elites of Wall Street and the U.S. multinationals, all 150 of them, who are just absolutely dependent upon the utility that we call free trade, which is ripping off America.
Look, the president himself regards himself as a free trader. Let me just state that out. And he believes strongly the reason to try to end these unfair and illegal trading practices is to get to a free trade position.
The president regards himself, Larry Kudlow, as a fair trader. He has called for balanced, reciprocal trade, smart trade.
Look, whatever, I've spoken to him many times. I'm just reflecting his own views. But the reason
I don't know whose views you're reflecting. This is the man who pulled us out of TPP. This is the man who just put forward 25% tariffs on steel.
Lou, if you let me finish the statement. You and I have known each other a long time. Okay, give me a chance here to put it on the table.
I will give you an opportunity.
I would appreciate that.
Without reservation.
All right, thank you, sir. Now, all I'm saying is free trade can be very good if it is, in fact, free and fair. We have to remove these
Name one agreement that has been free, in which there are no tariff barriers.
The whole history of the post-war period is that the growth of international trade has been a very good thing for all the countries involved. However, in recent decades, and I will agree with this, in recent decades, trade laws have been broken, trade practices have turned illegal and unfair, and China is perhaps the greatest problem. You know, don't blame Trump, I'm saying to people. Blame China. They're the ones who started this, and the whole world now wants China to change its policies. So if I say to you, free trade can be good, there's a history of free trade being good, but now we're not in a free trade zone, let's fix it. All right, let's fix it. I don't want to rule anything out. I don't want to use ideology. A very practical person, as you know. The president is a practical person. It has to be good for economic growth in the USA. And frankly, if you ask me, Lou, better trade deals, lower trade barriers, more investment opportunities, good for the whole world, the entire world. It would even be good for China if they'd practice it.
Well, I think China knows very well what is good for it, and what has been very good for it is to steal trillions of dollars worth of intellectual property from the United States, and to be on the beneficial end of the equation, which was the transfer of the greatest sum of wealth in the world history from this country, and that's got to be fixed. Xi acknowledged that, and he did so because the president challenged him. And to have anyone suddenly suggest to the president or say that he's a free trader suddenly now.
He calls himself a free trader, Lou. I don't want to quarrel over that. I've spent a lot of time with him. He has used that phrase. That's not the point. The point here is to make better trade deals or make them pay the penalty so that the USA is helped and not hurt. That's the key point. Look, Donald Trump is the first guy in a couple of decades to be tough and serious with China. And that's a very good thing indeed. And he has a vision here. And the vision is open up markets and stop the stealing of our great technology. That's the backbone of our economy. Can we do it? I remain optimistic that we can do it. Do we look for worst cases? Sometimes, but Lou, I'm an optimist on this, and I think Mr. Trump is probably the best negotiator we've ever seen, certainly in the White House. So I'm just going to leave it there. These are good reasons. These are powerful reasons to work with China. If they won't play, then it's not going to work, okay? It will not work. The same is true with Japan, and the same may be true in other countries. So let's just see if this thing can be worked out in a pro-growth way that will help this country.
You know, by this thing, I don't know if you're talking about TPP, the trade relationship with China, or a trade deficit that this country has run for 50 straight years. Which one of those things are you talking about?
I'm talking about China right now.
Okay.
We don't have a position on TPP. The president has asked me to take a look at it, and I will, but we don't have a position on TPP. I'm talking specifically, you asked me about China. Those are my views on China. President's been very tough with China, as he must, but you can't rule out negotiations. A lot of people say you shouldn't negotiate. He doesn't believe that, but everything's on the table. We've published tariffs.
It's sort of interesting where we've arrived, Larry.
If we have to go there, we'll use tariffs. I don't think that's anybody's first choice, but we'll see. Maybe that has to happen.
Our conversation began with me wanting to credit the president for Xi's opening and I think very positive response to his tough positions and the basis for the negotiation that I think will go on for some time. We are at the same place even as we conclude. I appreciate it. Larry, good to talk with you. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.